This really had a look of inevitability about it right from the start. Nice touch, Lee. Rod Wallace adding to his recent surge of goals with another stinging left-foot volley. That's 6 in 5 for Rod. Then the always impressive Gary Speed showing great composure with 20 minutes to go. Only 2 defeats in 26 games for United, 1 in the league, 1 in Europe. A scrambler by Steve Bruce set up this comfortable win over Coventry, who've now lost 9 of their last 11 games. United looking very slick in midfield. Neil Webb's return to top-notch form was a major factor. Lovely goal, that. Then came Brian McClare's 4th in 5 games, but there's so much more to McClare than just scoring goals. United's 3 games against Leeds after Christmas and just into the new year will be an unbelievable sequence. Ryan Giggs to Mark Hughes, and now that he's started scoring again, United's morale will be even higher. Villa had lost their previous 3 games, conceding 9 goals, but after Cyril Regis launched himself at Steve Staunton's cross, they began to relax. The old near-post corner routine, Paul McGrath doing the Steve Bowl bit, and Dwight York's 6th goal in 7 games. This was City's first away defeat in the league for 3 months. David White giving them a glimmer of hope, but Villa polished them off with goal of the day contender A, Tony Daly. Having broken their November duck in the nick of time at Upton Park last week, Wednesday won for the first time at home in 6 weeks. David Hurst getting the opening 2 goals on his 24th birthday, his 10th and 11th of the season. Well, after a fracas which saw Nigel Worthington and Chelsea's goalkeeper Kevin Hitchcock sent off, Vinnie Jones finished the game as Chelsea's last line of defence and conceded 1 in injury time. Paul Williams, who was on a substitute, Hurst was the provider. It was a comedy of errors to start with, certainly nothing going right at the back for Palace these days. Andy Thorne own goal. Well, neither side are having problems finding the net. Protecting it, well, that's a different matter. Rob Newman with a reminder that the pantomime season will soon be with us. Quality stuff coming up here. Goal of the day contender B, Sutton's tackle, flex perception, and Darren Beckford threatening the obvious and then doing the opposite. 2-1 to Norwich. Mark Bright came close to getting his first goal in 9 games before Eddie McGoldrick got his first in 85. A moment to savour. I think he enjoyed that, don't you? 3 minutes later, Palace were in front with the sort of move, well, more associated with their opponents. Simon Osborne in for the injured Jeff Thomas, getting his first goal for the club. But with seconds left, Palace conceded the 13th goal in their last 4 outings, Norwich having the final say in a thoroughly entertaining match. Offside was a possibility, but the camera angle not really conclusive. Rob Newman at the same end, but the right end this time, if you know what I mean. Eric Young led the Palace protests and was sent off. Southampton's goal was a bit suspicious. Bruce Grobbelaar had presumably come for a backheader from David Burrows, who was dumped onto the floor by scorer Alan Shearer, with Bruce in no man's land. Well, after the debacle at Peterborough on Tuesday, Liverpool badly needed something out of the game. Ray Houghton inevitably involved, and a first career goal for young Jamie Redknapp. Dad Harry wasn't there to see it, but Mum was. Everton, well and truly rumbled by Leeds on Wednesday, bounced back with a fine display against West Ham. Tony Cottee against his old club, finishing off a Peter Beardsley-Maurice Johnston move. Goal of the day, contender C, Peter Beagrie. A perfect finish and a perfect 10 for artistic merit. Now, West Ham are in something of a rut and have now lost their last 4 games. In truth, they were dead and buried at Goodison before half-time. Number 12 of the season there for Peter Beardsley. This is a good move. Beagrie, Hinchcliffe, and a 2-touch goal by Maurice Johnston, his first for Everton since leaving Rangers for £1.5 million. Spurs league form has been a constant worry for Peter Shreves. This wasn't vintage Spurs, but they'll settle for what they got after Paul Walsh gave them the lead. Because County looked as if they might avoid their 4th successive defeat when Craig Short rammed in an equaliser. But Spurs got going again, playing neat football rather than whacking it forward in desperation with only seconds remaining. Under the circumstances, a worthy goal of the day contender from Gary Mabbutt, an inspired goal from an inspirational player. Oldham had a great opportunity to go in front and set up the possibility of a third successive league win. Marshall down by Scales, but Graham Sharp failed miserably from the spot, changing his technique from last week. Now, Wimbledon ended a 4.5-game stretch without a goal when Robbie Earle played to the whistle, and quite rightly. Earl Barrett was playing them onside. It turned out to be Wimbledon's first victory since Peter With took over as manager 9 games ago. Warren Barton's run, Robbie Earle again. Mind you, they were delighted to hear the final whistle because Oldham scored with 6 minutes left. Handball John Fashanu, Ian Marshall this time. A victory that takes QPR clear of the bottom 3, only their second at home this season. Roy Wegley recalled after a reserve team hat-trick, in at the near post for the game's only goal.